All right, next item on the agenda. Our fire chief, Mr. Patrick Stevens, to address the board concerning the fire department becoming independent to the town.
Got two things tonight. First of all, basically all I come here for is to ask y'all as commissioners, have y'all just basically done what y'all said y'all gonna try to do. It's been 2 months since we met with you, just to check around the other towns and ones that have separated from the municipal and went independent on their own, or the non-profit organization or the fire department, and just more or less asking that. Also, the other thing I have Jay Howard with Code 3 Insurance here, which handles almost 70% of the insurance here in Halifax County for fire departments. More or less kind of go a little bit on the workman's comp, because I know Mr. Dobson had a few issues on why it was cheaper if we had it versus back where we got to the town now. And just go over some liability issues with fire department, who we want to ourselves versus with the town, what liability we could cause on the town as an expense. But if anybody, if they ain't done a check with any of the towns or anything to find any information as far as other towns that have separated.
Well, I have checked around with some towns. Yeah, I have done it.
Got any comments on it?
Well, you know, I'm going to hold those for this minute, but I like for the board to discuss what their feeling is. I'm waiting for the board to form a consensus around something. So,
this is kind of a comment and a question mixed together. Our fire department, by all accounts, does a great job right now. I think everybody feels that way. When you look at the situation that Enfield's got and you look at their budget, I don't feel like they do any better than our department does. In fact, possibly not as good. Yet their budget is substantially higher than ours, and the money that they spend and go through is substantially higher than ours. And so that is one concern, both from a county perspective and a town perspective. When you put that budget together, they've grown into a significantly higher budget, yet I'm not sure any more effective if they are as effective. And so the fear there that would be natural out of that is that when a department became independent, performance may not necessarily be any better, yet the budget could substantially grow, as well as the expense commitment on the town. So I think that's a real fear that's present that would somehow have to be addressed.
I mean, that's the reason why we kind of give you a rough draft of the contract, and really didn't kind of put it that so we wouldn't try to overcharge the town or anything. I mean, that was just opinions. Plus the difference between us and Enfield has 2 stations. They actually have more equipment than we have, and they run around 450 calls a year, and we generally run anywhere from 180 to 200 calls a year. So they run more than double the calls. The majority of their calls come from Interstate 95. A lot of them ain't nothing, but they still have to respond. But so they run a whole lot more calls than we do. And they got a personnel, over 40 personnel versus us, 25 personnel.
Right.
So it is some expense differences in that.
yes, sir.
Again, I also should have started out by saying I appreciate all the folks in the fire department attending like you have. Some of the things that have been discussed, one of the reasons I've heard that you'd like to be separated is so you can make independent decisions on buying equipment, not have the town to have to deal with, considering we're not as knowledgeable on it, which I self-admit that I'm not. I have to ask a lot of questions of y'all. But one thing that is apparent is that you would want to buy more equipment, not less equipment. So
Just more or less be able to update the equipment we got sooner, more or less. We're fairly well equipped now. The only thing that the community is kind of would like to see us have is a ladder truck. Which I voice my opinion is on a ladder truck. We've got other needs before we get that far.
Well, what I'm wanting to do is lay out realistic concerns so that everybody can understand where those concerns would come from. But if you desired more equipment and newer, different, updated, it is going to cost more. And then it's been discussed, the potential and the desire to have a station that would be out of town. It was made obvious by you that that would be a down the road thing. It would not be a short term, it would be a little bit more of a mid and long term. That would cost more than what we're currently doing right now. So again, the fear would be, not that you're trying to charge the town more for less service, or not that you're trying to be unfair to the town, because I don't think that's the case. What the concern is that with more equipment, newer equipment, new building, would the fires get fought any better than they're getting fought right now? And the budget would have to go up. There's no way, as expenses rise, revenue has to rise. That's just the way it is. So I think that's our concern, is that are we lacking in coverage now? Would potential changes that the group would like to make enhance our coverage? And then would the cost-benefit relationship be a good decision? And to me, that is the heart of what's before us as we think about this thing. So I don't know how to describe it any better than that.
Well, if you don't have any more questions right now, I'd like to ask Mr. J. Howard to come up and just explain insurance-wise and all, or if y'all would recognize him.